In this lecture, we are going to move on and work with TimeWarp frames. I'm going to do it a bit differently here. I will come to my sailing here and drag it and drop it to create a new composition using this video. I want the new composition to take all the parameters from the video. So this video is 12 seconds, 12 frames, and 25 frames per second. Of course, my composition now is also 25 frames per second and has the same time. And there is a good reason why I did that. I will rename it TimeWarp frame. Okay, that will do. I hope so. Cool. Now, why I have done this? I want to match the frames here of the composition to the frames of the video itself, or now it's my layer. So if you come to this area and you press Control and then click on the time, it will now show you the frames and not the time. Below it there is the time. I will return it to time. So notice very well that the frames of the video are identical to the frame of the composition, and that is pretty important here, otherwise I will get very confused. Of course, if I want to work with different frame rates for the composition, then I will do something quite different than that. Fine, let's take our composition and drop it above. It will drop here. Now this video is not so good. I'm gonna show you. I will put levels to it. Okay, why I'm putting the level is to make sure that the video is quite good. And you will notice what will happen when I introduce the TimeWarp. So I will delete level from here, come to time, and take the TimeWarp and drop it on the video. Now first of all, what I put as level disappeared. That's because of the order that the effects are rendered. Now it's gonna render first the TimeWarp, then the levels. In this case, it's not gonna render anything from the levels because it's above. I will take it and put it down. So the order here of the effects is always important, and you can test it out and see when it's working, when it's not. Fine. Now I have put the TimeWarp here. Cool. I will change it from speed to source frame. If I scrub through, nothing happens. It's like the video is not playing anymore at all. That is because now the control of the frames have been overtaken by this effect here. So it is on the source frame 0 and it stays on 0 all the time. But I can keyframe it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I will keyframe it here, come to my layer, press U to see my keyframes, go for example to 1 second here. Okay. Now at 1 second, I can change the source frame. Let's make it 50 frames. So now it's gonna move from frame 0 to 50, but of course the time in the composition is gonna be 1 second, it's gonna be 25 frames per second. For now, we are only interested in the time. So instead of moving 25 frames, I'm moving 50 frames, which means I'm moving 2 seconds. And of course, the video is gonna be speedier or double the speed. And you notice it is double the speed. Then after that, nothing happens. It's back to 50 frames, it gets stuck there, and it moves on till the end of the composition. Now this is extremely useful if you want to think about it a bit. You can stop your movie and then go back and run it again. You have full control of how the movie is starting and ending. It's even easier than Remap. It's quite easy here. Let's go back now to 2 seconds, for example. And instead of going to 50, I want to go to 125. Cool. I'm going to make it speedier. Let's play it and we see that it's going to go speedier. Of course, I'm using pixel motion here. Now, if I go to 125 and instead of having 125, I go back to 25. And that's going to be cool for you. Look at it. It's gonna go from 0 to 50 back to 25. Now it's going backward. Your video has gone backward. Cool. So let's move it back, and we have here 50 and 25. We are just going to make it 55. Okay, so we're going from 0 to 50 to 55 only. Let's play and see what's happening. And then it goes very slow. Now slow motion, we need maybe to fix the pixel motion or something. For now, it's okay. Now that's pretty cool. Let's play a game here. How I would like to work. I will delete these 2 keyframes. Now I will go to the end of the composition. I press end to go to the end. Now notice here we have 311 frames. If I press Control and click, I will see 311 frames. This is the end of the video. Remember that we made the frames of the composition to match the frames of the video. So if I keyframe here and write 311, what will happen is the video will run normally from frame 0 to frame 311. That's pretty cool. Now I'm in control. I can take the last keyframe here, the one I put, and bring it to 75. Now, of course, I have a very fast movie playing. Watch it. It's pretty fast. So you have full control using these effects. I will return the keyframe till the end and come, for example, to 1 second. From 0 to 1 second, I will write 100 here to get to 1 second. I will keyframe, and let's make it, for example, 50. Cool. So it comes here. Now, after that, half a second, I will add 12 frames. I'm gonna keyframe it again, and instead of 60.95, I'm gonna go back to 25 frames. Cool. So it's gonna come in, then come back. Then after also 12, I'm gonna go to 50 again. Now I will also add another 12, and I go to 25. Now I'm playing, and this is very nice. Notice how I made the dancing boats. So actually they are dancing. So if I take this keyframe, this one is 25 and this one is 50. I can take all of them, copy them, go to the last keyframe using K, add 12, and paste them. And notice what's happening. Now I have more dancing boats, and it's really dancing. It's very useful. So imagine a guy walking. He will make 3 steps forward, 3 steps backward, and stories like this. Just expand on your imagination. It will be very nice if you do that. I will copy them all and go to the last keyframe. Here you are. Oh, and then I will go plus 12 and then paste, and it's okay. It's moving nicely. I run it, and you have real dancing boats here. Now this is very, very nice. Now let's go and select all our keyframes. That's very easy, and we press alternate and stretch them in. You know that, right? You hold the last keyframe and you can stretch them in, and here you are. You have the same movement but much speedier, and it's pretty cool. Fine, let's take the last keyframe here and bring it to, let's say, 1 second after. Okay, and then bring it this, and let's go and enable the blur. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything, just automatic and 5, and let's play it. Now you have a very nice motion, in fact a very unusual one, and look at the blur, how it's appearing with pixel motion. Of course, if I change, maybe the blur will change differently, and notice how it's gonna exit. Is gonna be quite nice. Wait for it to render completely. Here you are, it has finished rendering. I will play it again to show you, and they are dancing. Then they exit in style, and it's very beautiful. Of course, I'm showing you an example. Now, better than that, I will take all my keyframes, press Ctrl and click on one of them. They're becoming all roving keyframes. Let's go to the graph here, and you notice now they are moving much smoother. And I can play with them if I'd like to and make them, you know, jump better. Also, you can choose them all, select them and press F9. You will easy ease them. If you look at the graph now, it's a bit more sharp and the movement is quite nice. So actually, this is all about the time wrap, source frame, and enable motion blur. It is not all about the time warp, because you know, there are so many other parameters that you can use here, and they are quite nice. But for now, let's play only with time. I hope you have understood. I hope you know how to use time warp now with source frame. You can also change it, for example, to frame mix with the enable motion blur, and the whole thing will change. You know, look at it, it's changing. Even the colors are changing because of the color that you have put there, and you have a fantastic animation just for you to play with. Now it's up to you. You must go to After Effects, get a video from somewhere, a clip of 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, something that is moving, and then play with the source frame, with the time warp, if it is for the source frame or the speed, and get used to it. Now, it's important that you do that, because when you are doing a video and you want a certain effect, if you didn't train for the time warp or any other effect, you will not remember it. And that's what used to happen with me. I used to know them all, but then I just know them. And when it comes to doing effects, it was hard for me to find out which effect I'm gonna use here and so on. It was pretty confusing. So what I did is just spend 2 hours on every effect. Of course, this is my business and I'm making money out of it, so I can afford the time, and it's very important for me. For you, just spend half hour or 30 minutes, mess up, play with it, get the movie, go out and shoot your daughter, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mom, whatever, and make it funny and come and show them. Post it on YouTube, tell people how you have done. It is very important that you train and become, very familiar with all these tips I'm showing you, because just after 2-3 lectures, I'm going to ask you to do a project, and that project you are going to use each one of them. I'm not going to tell you how. See you in the next lecture, and good time roping and having fun.